everybody. This is your host for Cooking with Tiffany and Tiffany's Community Spotlight at Home, Tiffany DuBois-Morales. This video will mark, shocker, 99 videos that I've recorded over the last couple of years. Man, time flies when you're having lots of food and cooking it all up. So, yay! I want to take a moment and thank my amazing husband who is behind the camera, or in this case, the iPhone, right now, for always encouraging me to, go with what I want versus whatever established recipe that we find. So thank you, honey. All right, so for today's dish, I am bringing back, I'd say not so much of a favorite based upon the number of views and everything, but we are going to be doing slow braised whole rabbit along with slow braised turnip greens, and we're just gonna mix it all together for tonight's dinner. So sit back, relax, and we will be back. All right, everybody, we are back. So the very first thing we're going to do is season our rabbit. And as always, thank you so much to all the guys at Gianta's Prime Shop for always having a spectacular amount of meats, poultry, sausages, and just, for continuing to support all of the cooking that I do. I greatly appreciate at this point, almost 30 reposts on Instagram that you guys have, been tagged on over, the last, 9 months. So I appreciate it. All right, and as always, thanks must go to everybody at The Head Nut for my amazing selection of spices. Everybody at Iovine Brothers Produce for all of my herbs, hot peppers, produce items, and Whole Foods Market for my garlic, and new add-ins, downtown cheese, which you can also find at Reading Terminal Market for, my little salty add with Kalamata olives. So for the spice rub, we are going to be using my standard mix: black peppercorn, red pepper flake, because you guys know how much I love heat in my dishes. We're gonna use rabbit seasoning that we picked up a long while ago in Malta, ironically enough, and I've just been liberally adding to my rabbit dishes for a while now. We're going to do a little amount of the piri piri spice blend, which, God, it has been so good. Dried rosemary, because I used the last of the fresh rosemary in that reworked chicken marsala dish, and to give it just a little French flair, we're going to add in some tarragon, because rabbit actually likes the slight sweetness that you get from the tarragon leaves. So that covers the spice rub. And generally the rule is, you know, go ahead and mix everything together. You want to make sure that everything is properly seasoned. So we are just going to let this kind of sit for a few more minutes before we start searing all of this rabbit, and then setting aside briefly before we start on the braising liquid. So we will be back. All right, everybody, we are back, and our rabbit has had time to go ahead and kind of marinate quickly with the dried spices that I added to it. And now is, you know, our favorite part of doing this braised rabbit, searing it. We do this to ensure that you get all of the maximum flavor of the rabbit, and to make sure that you get, you know, all of the juices and spices properly seared in together. So you don't need to worry about, you know, your pan being overcrowded or anything. You know, you're going to allow all of this to just kind of do their thing for each side for a solid 2 minutes. So it'll be ready to go into the braise. The longer you braise something, the more juicy and tender it is. And, you know, in our case, with the amount of liquid that will be released from the tomatoes, from the onions, the saltiness that you're going to get from the Kalamata olives, and then just how light the carrots and the celery and everything is, it is always going to be a very good and delicious dish. So we will be back when it's time to start the braising. All right, everybody, we are back. Now, as you can see, our rabbit has been seared and is now doing the temporary rest. In our Dutch oven, we have 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce and 1 tablespoon of, you know, Kalamata olive juice. And here is the Kalamata olives, the sliced garlic, and the Fresno and Serrano hot peppers. Because if you want your rabbit to be spicy, which I do, you need to get this cooking first before you even think about adding in your onions, the carrots, which take much longer to cook, the tomatoes, you know, celery, and then we're going to be using our, you know, our fresh thyme in the braising liquid, and the rabbit. The turnip greens are getting cooked after all of this is done, and then the celery is really going to be the last thing that gets added into the Dutch oven, because I still want a little bit of crunchy texture with the celery. So, yay! All right, nice. So this is bubbling along, and we're just going to go ahead and add in the same dried spices that we use on the rabbit in the braising liquid. So, I wish you guys could smell how amazing this is, even just right now. Okay, now to add in the onions. We're just going to cover this with the lid because I want the onions to start softening a little bit, but we will be back. All right, everybody, we are back. So our onions are really nicely softening. The olives are releasing all of their juices, and everything is looking pretty good. So we are going to go ahead and add in our carrots, tomatoes, mix all of this together, and we're going to finish off this Kalamata olive juice and add in a little bit of water so that it can get to the correct level and, start braising our rabbit. So give me 1 sec. Okay, we got all of that, and yes, our fresh thyme. If you guys could smell this, you would be in absolute bliss over how fresh and fragrant all of this is. But we have all of our spices, we have our liquid, and at this point, the only thing we have left to do is close our lid and set our timer. Now, I like to braise my rabbit for at least an hour, check it, and then braise it for up to an additional hour, hour and a half. So it is about 3 p.m. That's not going to happen. So we're just going to go ahead and let this braise completely covered for a solid hour, and then maybe add in another 30 to 45 minutes, but the rabbit will be finished. Coming up, we will have our turnip greens that I'm going to be braising in another dish. So we will be back. All right, everybody, we are back. So we have about 50 minutes or a little less than 50 minutes until we check on our braised rabbit. In the meantime, we're going to get started on our braised turnip greens. So in this pasta pot that we used to use a lot, for large dishes of pasta for just, the two of us, we would use this basically only then. But in here is going to be a little bit of water and 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And we're going to just put in the very thinly chopped and sliced turnip greens, because it's simpler to just, cook it when it's in smaller pieces. So check it out. It's filled to the top. Don't worry, this will wilt down, you know, in a little bit. But we're going to season this with, once again, the same spice rub that I used on the rabbit and in the braising liquid. Now, I'm going to go and just kind of mix this very, very slowly and carefully. And the very last thing that we are going to do is add in, oh yeah, a little more water. So give me one sec. And cover with our lid and check on it in, you know, maybe 10-15 minutes before we do another stir, and you know, let it braise low and slow for the remaining time that we're braising the rabbit. So we will be back. All right, everybody, we are back, and check it out. Our beautiful turnip greens have wilted down really well. If you guys could smell how amazing this is, you would be positively salivating. Now, this is going to get reduced to just low heat at this point, and there is a little under 40 minutes left to our timer for the braised rabbit to be checked. So we're just going to keep this on low, let it do its thing, and it'll be ready, yeah, probably in the next half hour. All right, everybody, we are back. Now, our turnip greens are cooked and finished, and I went ahead and checked on our rabbit, which they are basically done. So I've gone ahead and I've added in our celery, and all we're really going to do is just kind of give this a stir. We can start bringing up the rabbit and mixing all of this together. See what I mean about the rabbit basically being done? Yeah, the trick to knowing that it's done is when the meat just literally starts falling off the bone. So this is basically going to be done in a few short minutes, and then we'll be able to go ahead and shred the rabbit and have, you know, dinner. So we will be back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back, and check it out. So we have our finished braised rabbit, which, oh my God, this came out so good. And our slow braised turnip greens that I have as well. And I'm just gonna mix all of this together in our bowl. It came out so good. Once again, thanks as always to everybody at Chianti's Prime Shop, The Head Nut, Iovine Brothers Produce, and Downtown Cheese, all at Reading Terminal Market, for having fantastic products available for purchase, and Whole Foods Market for, as always, the sliced garlic. I am your host for Cooking with Tiffany, Tiffany DuBois-Morales.